My name is Tony Vashist. We are representing the independent driving instructors and the driving school owners of Ontario. And there are approximately 600 driving schools in Ontario which are licensed and approved by the Ministry of Transportation. And approximately 1,000 driving instructors are employed by the industry. There has been a strike for the last 15 weeks. We are entering into the 16th week, and this is way too much. What I call is enough. We driving instructors are hit the hardest, financially, emotionally, as well as socially, and we have nowhere to go but knock the door of the legislature assembly to help us to intervene in this matter so that the strike is called off as soon as possible. I have with me Jim Wilson, MPP from PC, and John Lefevre from the Pro Drivers Ontario, and Patrick. And we together are here, and we have thousands of people, are the driving instructor owners of Ontario, waiting outside, shouting, and the strike should be called off as soon as possible. That's our main concern.
Okay, I'd like to begin by welcoming you here this morning, and thank you, Tony, and those that are out front and those that circled Queen's Park earlier this morning to express their dissatisfaction with this government's inaction in ending this strike once and for all. As Tony has said, we're into our 16th week. Some 368,000 Ontarians have been inconvenienced so far, and that number grows by about 4,000 people every day who are unable to get their driver's license, and that ranges from students who can't get to their jobs so that they can pay for their college or university in the first place, truck drivers and new Canadians who can't upgrade their driver's licenses or get a new driver's license in the first place, driving instructors many have had to lay off staff at this point in the hundreds. This at a time when our economy is at an all-time low, when Mr. McGuinty should be doing everything he can in his power to preserve jobs in the province, to create jobs in the province, and to make sure we don't lose any more jobs. We've lost over 400,000 jobs in the last 3 years under the McGuinty leadership, and we need this strike like a hole in the head. And the fact of the matter is, I've heard from hundreds of my constituents alone in the riding of Simcoe Grey. If you live in Wasaga Beach and you need to get to your job in Blue Mountain or in Collingwood, we don't have public transit. We rely on our cars, and we need our driver's licenses to get to work. And being denied that for so many weeks is deplorable. And so I, last week, as a private member, introduced Bill 225, which is a back-to-work legislation to require CERCO and the steel workers to sit down and to go to binding arbitration. And today we call upon Mr. McGuinty, and I'll be doing this in question period in just an hour or so, call upon him once again to get a backbone and to settle this strike, whether he adopts my bill or produces one of his own, a government bill. We and the PC party, and Tim Hudak as the leader of the PC party, will cooperate in every way to make sure that bill is passed as quickly as possible. In my 19 years here, I can tell you last Monday was rather a strange day. When I introduced that legislation, we saw both the Liberal members of the House and all but one NDP member of the House, over 47 members, actually abstain on voting on first reading of the bill, which is I've never seen before in my time here at Queen's Park. I've seen one or two members abstain, but I've not seen entire parties abstain. So to me, that either means they don't care. They don't care about these people here that are at Queen's Park today, or they don't have the backbone to settle the strike. And so Mr. McGuinty has to do the right thing. He has to get these people back to work. I think one of the most emotional emails I got was a young man who's going to be delayed in his career a whole year because he wants to become a cadet, to become a police officer in the province of Ontario. He's unable to get his driver's license. He's missed all the deadlines to apply. Each week another deadline seems to go by. He can't get into a college course to become a police officer. He can't get into cadet school to become an OPP officer, and his life is delayed by at least a year simply because Mr. McGuinty hasn't had the fortitude You'll notice that Mr. McGinty's been slow in the past when it comes to these back-to-work pieces of legislation. The TTC strike comes to mind. He waits until hundreds of thousands of people are completely inconvenienced until he does anything. Well, I think we're at that point now. Hundreds of thousands of people have been completely inconvenienced and are losing their jobs, and people are being laid off. And so I join with colleagues here today and Mr. Cleese, our transportation clinic, a critic, in calling upon Mr. McGinty to do the right thing. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Jim. I think Tony has said it and mentioned it very clearly that there are thousands of driving instructors. Their families are now at a point where they're about to be out of work. Their families are devastated. They're also, there's a point here now where they will have to change jobs, change professions, and that's going to hurt the whole economy. It's going to hurt the driving industry, and most of all, it's going to hurt what Jim has mentioned, and Jim has mentioned the people of Ontario who need their licenses for their jobs. Where are they going to get the jobs if the driving school, the experienced driving instructors who take courses to become experienced driving instructors, where are they going to get the people to teach them? We have two issues here. We have the devastation it's causing the driving instructor industry, but we have, more importantly, the devastation it's going to cause the economy. There's a huge safety issue here. Right now, there are a lot of people without their licenses. What they are going to do, because they need their licenses for work, what they're going to do is they're going to get their licenses as quickly as possible. That means Circle will be busy when they get back to work. They'll be busy examining people and getting them through their licenses. But what the public will not understand is that they will bypass the most important part of getting the license, and that is driver education. We will have a huge blip in the cost of our health care as we move forward. It's been proven that over and over again, the people who take driver education courses, after they've been experienced for a while, they are actually better drivers and result in fewer collisions and less cost on the healthcare system when they've been taught properly in driving schools. So we have an opportunity here to teach these students, teach these people to become safe drivers, not just get their license, but safe drivers, and we are missing out on that opportunity because there's going to be a rush to get their license. So the Ministry of Transportation will get their money through Circle because people still need their licenses. The Circle examiners will eventually get back to work, but the driving instructor industry is going to be devastated, and not only the driving instructor industry, but the healthcare system. It costs $19 billion. We spend $19 billion a year in this country on healthcare due to collisions. A lot of that can be prevented if we teach people to drive properly in the first place. So, ladies and gentlemen, please think about safety and the economy as we move forward in this. We have to stop the strike now.